Hey, we've got some live pictures now coming from the scene in Sydney. We're about to see what is happening. You can see the police right there. They're about to storm the building to get involved and try and take some action to get a hold of the situation. As we know, it's in about its 17th hour or so, and they're still waiting for the Iranian man to come out. It seems like they're taking matters into their own hands, going into the building and seeing if they can get a hold of him. As we know, about 30 people are still stuck inside. We're not entirely sure of the number. It's about 15 to 30 people still stuck inside. The police have decided to move in, take action and try and get a hold of some of those hostages in the situation. That is as far as we understand the situation to be. Obviously, the details are quite limited, but we know action is being taken now. There we are. We've got the police moving into the building. As I say, we can see them coming out now. It looks like the hostages are being carried out by the police just there. Live footage you're looking at as they come to us. Now, the hostages were seen pressed up against the window, as we know. They're now being carried out, it looks like. And as far as we understand it, it's got an Islamic message sentiment to all of this, as we saw the flag. And we can see a hostage on the screen just there. You are looking at that. Hostages being taken out, police getting involved in the situation just there in Sydney. As I say, 17th hour that this terrorist situation has been carrying on in the Lindt Chocolate Cafe in Australia. It still looks rather hostile there. As I say, the details are limited. We're not entirely sure how many people are inside. As we understand it, it's about 15 to 30. And we understand that it's an Iranian immigrant who is doing that today in Sydney. We can hear firing as well. Apparently, there is firing being heard in the region. This is live footage you're looking at here on RT International. Now, the Sydney hostage taker, he has been identified, as I say, as an Iranian refugee. He's named Manhoron Monis. He's a radical Muslim cleric previously involved in a hate mail campaign against the families of Australian soldiers who fought in Afghanistan. Now, as I say, we believe he's holding up to 30 people in that cafe in the city centre. However, 5 earlier did manage to escape. We know the lights were turned off. We don't know if they were let go or if they did indeed escape. As I say, the details are limited. Police say, or they do believe, there's just one attacker involved in all of this, the Iranian man, and they are indeed in contact with him. But it looks like they've chosen to take action on the scene. We can see hostages. It looks as though they're being carried out just there. We don't know if anyone has been harmed just yet. Presumably a scary situation for all involved. We've got medics rushing to the scene, as we understand, a pretty chaotic situation as it comes to us. This is in Sydney. It's in the centre, a busy region. It's been going on for 17 hours now. Police have been in contact with the Iranian man and indeed chosen to take action now and go into the building and carry out those hostages. We are awaiting to find out if any of them have indeed been hurt or so. The details are limited, as I say, and presumably they are so that people don't deduce what is happening for themselves. It does look as though the medics are involved in the situation, trying to help people, trying to calm the situation. And as I say, he has been named as an Iran refugee. This has all happened in a Sydney cafe today in its 17th hour. As we understand it, the gentleman is also on bail, facing a number of charges too. As I say, these details haven't been verified just yet. It's all rather murky as to who he is and what his reason for doing so is. But as we say, he has been involved with hate mail towards Australian families who have been involved in the war in Afghanistan. There's been no reports of injuries or casualties so far. The medics are there though, and presumably the people involved are very frightened indeed. As you can see, we are right now looking at the same pictures. You can see we've got medics there, we've got police involved. It looks like we've got hostages being carried out. There's no sign of the attacker himself. It's understood that he has an Islamic sentiment to his actions today. There was Arabic writing on a flag that was put into the window. We know those hostages are going to be very frightened indeed because they were pushed against windows. As I say, the number is also rather sketchy. We know that it's between 15 and 30, as we understand it. We know that about 5 of them managed to escape themselves, whether they were let go or escaped. Indeed, we're not entirely sure. But it does it rather chaotic indeed. As I say, it's been going on for 17 hours. Australia is certainly not used to this sort of behaviour on its doorstep. We know that Tony Abbott, the Prime Minister, has already come out. He's praised the proceedings there by the police, but some, indeed Neil Clark, who I was talking to earlier, the journalist, was saying that perhaps it's rather early for such comments. As we can see, yeah, even more hostages being carried out by those medics there. And the police did indeed decide to go into the building and get the situation under hand, having waited 17 hours for the attacker to come out. Now, a young woman has been carried out with blood running down her leg. That's one of the latest reports we are indeed hearing. Explosions, gunfire heard in the cafe in Sydney, as I say. Heavy police activity at Sydney Cafe. You can see all of that. Many shots fired, supposedly, in the region. Lots of noise, lots of chaos, people fleeing. There was indeed a loud bang heard. And as I say, a lady was witnessed to be running from the scene with blood flowing down her leg. As I say, this isn't the type of scene that you ordinarily see in Sydney, but it is indeed in its 17th hour, and it seems to be reaching rather a chaotic point. Live ammunition was indeed used. Police have confirmed that as they did decide to storm the building where the Iranian man was holding up to 15 to 30 people captive today there in Sydney. Now, police have confirmed that live ammunition was used as heavily armed police did decide to storm that cafe in Sydney where the hostage situation was underway, and it looks like it's coming to its climax just there. We've seen hostages being carried out, medics there, police now involved, and as I say, the man has indeed been identified. So the identity of the man, as we know, his name now, he's a radical Muslim cleric from Iran. Now, we do indeed, as I say, have that information. He's the hostage taker. He's been identified as the Iranian refugee. His name for you, man, Harun Monis. He's a radical Muslim cleric previously involved in a hate mail campaign against the families of Australian soldiers who fought in Afghanistan. He's believed to be holding up to 30 people, and as I say, it looks like some of those are indeed being carried out right now as we speak, as we witness these live pictures together here. And it looks like emergency services are all out in force just there. We've got fire service, we've got ambulances, we've got the police brigades as well. 17 hours they waited to take action, presumably to keep the people safe inside. At least 4 people believed to have been injured. Multiple shots have been heard. We know that the shots have been confirmed. There are reports that one person has been shot. We certainly don't know if he's been killed at all, but we know that a shot was indeed fired and one person.
I don't have any comms, so just call me or text me. I can stay on the line.
As you can see, we've got emergency services just there, kitted out to keep safe in the situation.
No drama. See ya.
We don't know what has happened to this Iranian attacker just yet. As I say, he's a radical Muslim cleric from Iran. The details on him, where he is at the moment, are rather scarce, but we know that the hostages are being taken out. Presumably, he's still inside the building. There's nothing to give us the impression that he's been taken out. We know that he did have those people up against a window. He was making them rotate throughout these 17 hours that he had them captured. We know that he did have a flag displayed with Arabic writing on, and we understand that he has an Islamic sentiment, and he's also had a history of writing hate mail to those Australian families who have soldiers within their family involved in the Afghanistan war that Australia has also been involved in. Now, at least 4 people are believed to have been injured. We know there's been multiple shots. The scene is absolutely chaotic, it seems. As I say, plenty of emergency services out in force after waiting 17 hours to take action, presumably to keep everybody safe. We know there's been gunfire fired. One person, as we understand it, has been